So for this next part, I want to get into a budget and I want to show you a little bit about how to budget and to get you a budget program of your own. So a budget software that I have used since I was in undergrad is called YNAB. It stands for You Need a Budget. Okay, YNAB, You Need a Budget. You can get it at ynab.com or youneedabudget.com. And they actually have a 34-day free trial, and they also have a college student program that if you are in college, you get it for 12 months for free. Okay, so 12 months for free, in addition to the 34-day free trial. So technically you get it for 13 months for free. So you can get that by going to youneedabudget.com/college. Again, youneedabudget.com/college. But really, once you go in there and you are in this page, if you just get your free year of YNAB, it's going to bring the try YNAB free for 34 days. Okay, put in your mix address and create a password. Start your free trial, and then you have it for 34 days. And then sometime within those next 34 days, you do need to go to, let's see here, where's the instructions? Okay, you need to email them proof of your college studenthood, okay? College ID card, transcripts, tuition statement, something like that. Basically, you just email them. It's a pretty simple process. I don't know what the email address is. I'm sure if you look around, you can find it. But once you email them and tell them that you are a college student, provide them your email address and your proof of college studentness, then they will give it to you for free for another 12 months. Okay, so this is an actual assignment that you have to do for this class. You have to download the budget and send me a screenshot to let me know that you have downloaded it, and then that counts as a homework grade. So again, just a single 10-point grade. You either get 10 points full credit for doing it, or you get 0 points for not doing it. So I'll have that posted, but that is it is part of the grade, so I want you to do that. All right, so I want you to go in, create your free trial, log in, and then once you log in, you're going to come to a screen that looks probably a little bit like this. Now you can see I've got several budgets in here. So yours shouldn't have any budgets like mine. But if you go over here to the top left, so your screen should look something like this. But here in the top left, it's going to say you need a budget. And you can click on it, and you can create a new budget. Okay? And so you can call it, my budget, whatever you want to call it. Currency, you can change the number format, currency placement. Okay? So you can change some of the settings. Then you just hit create budget. Once you create your budget, it's going to give you a pre-built budget with different categories. Okay. These are your categories, these are subcategories. So it's going to create a pre-populated one for you. So we'll go over that here in a minute. And we'll discuss that. But just to give you an idea of what you are seeing here. Okay, so on the left you have, this is basically where you're going to have, you've got a few different screens. You can have your budget screen, you can see some reports. Once you input your accounts will show up here. Okay, so this is your account section. And then over here in this screen, of course, will be, if you're looking at the budget view, or if you're looking at reports, or you're looking at accounts, all that's going to show up in this screen. So right now, this is your budget. So it's pulling up, it's saying September 2020, you have $0 to be budgeted, and it's just basically got a whole bunch of zeros. You have some flexibility here. It says you can add a category group. So this is a category group, this immediate obligations. And these are your subcategories. Okay, so you've got several category groups that are pre-built in here. And then you've got several pre-built subcategories. Okay, so what we're going to do is, I have found in my experience that the best way for me to learn is not to start with somebody else's things, but it's to create my own. So I like to delete what's in here. So you can right click it, just hit delete, and it's going to delete everything in the subcategories. Okay, so if I right click a category group and I hit delete, it'll delete everything. Delete, delete, delete. Now, I like to do that because now I'm starting with a very blank slate. There's nothing here. I've got no accounts. I've got no preconceived notions of what it should be or shouldn't be. I can pretty well create it the way that I want it to be. And so what I want to do for you all is I want to show you, I want to create a pre-built, or I want to give you an idea of how we can do this. I want to show you how to create it, and eventually you can make your own. But for the moment, I'm going to give you a structure that's a pretty good structure and a way to think about things. So what we're going to start with is we're going to create a category group. And our category groups, I want to think about our financial planning box. We have 4 domains. We have assets, liabilities, risk management, and cash flow. So our budget is going to look similar. It's going to be a little bit different, but it's going to follow some of the same conventions. Because if we are saving money, or if we are managing the flow of cash in, the flow of cash out, where is it going to go out to? Well, some of the money that we're going to go out, we want to put towards asset building. Some of it we might want to put to pay off debt. Some of it we're going to want to put for insurance. Some of it we'll put for our expenses. So our category groups should look a little bit like that. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to just create one for assets. The next thing we're going to do is create one for liabilities. Then we're going to create one for risk management. And we're going to create one for expenses. Okay, instead of cash flow, I'm just going to change it to expenses. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to reorder these. So I'm just going to drag this one up. I'm going to put liabilities next. I'm going to put risk management. Oops. Actually, I want to put risk management above liabilities and expenses. Okay. Now, in time, you might have your own way that you like to order things, or you might want to break some things out in specifics that are unique to you, but for purposes of what we're doing here, I think this is going to be a good start. So for assets, we're going to do a couple of things. We're going to have a savings account. Okay, so we're going to have money that we want to budget for savings. And then we might want to put something for investments. Okay. I hope to get the opportunity later this semester to walk you through maybe an initial investment. Okay, so first off, in our asset building category, we have savings and investment. Now, risk management, you may have auto insurance. Okay, so risk management, you're going to have auto insurance. You might have renter's insurance. Okay. Some of you might have life insurance. You can put whatever ones you may have, or exclude if you don't have one. That's fine. Now, liabilities, the budget works a little bit. There's a few nuances with the budget, but we'll just go ahead and of how this budget software actually handles things like credit cards, which we can get into, but we might put car payment here, maybe student loan, and then we won't put credit card here because the budget handles credit card a little differently. All right, and then as far as expenses go, let's go ahead and put cell phone. Let's put groceries, dining out. We could put electric bill, Netflix, or we could just actually make a category for entertainment. Things like Netflix or Spotify could go under those. Gas for your car. Okay. Other utilities. How about rent? Other utilities. Okay. So we can create, again, this is just a little rudimentary. You can create ones that are unique to your situation, or you can use these ones, okay? But again, this is for visualization purposes. Okay, so now what we're looking at is we have our four main domains: assets, liabilities, risk management, cash flow, or expenses. And we can start to see that here's where our dollars go, okay? So if we have money come in, we know there are certain places that they have to go. And so what we want to do is figure out where they need to go. All right, so now what we got to do is we need to look into adding money to the account. So what we're going to do over here, it says we have no accounts. So we're going to add an account. Now this is linked or unlinked. What that means is it will automatically import your transactions from your bank account, which you can certainly do that. Or if you unlink it, it means it's not connected to your bank account. From a security standpoint, this only has read-only access, so it only can pull what's in your bank account. It can't actually make changes to your bank account. So it's up to you whether you want to link it or unlink it. I've had mine linked and I've never had any issue. But for purposes of this, we're just going to say unlinked. Now it's going to ask you a few questions. What type of account are you adding? And it's going to ask you if it's a budget account or a tracking account. Okay, budget account means it actually goes into your budget. Tracking might be it's just something that you are kind of keeping track of, but it doesn't go in your budget. For instance, your investment account might be a tracking account. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a checking account, and we're just going to call it My Checking. Call it whatever you want. And we're going to say, what is your current account balance? You can put whatever yours is, or for this, we're just going to put 0. And it's going to say, okay, loading, it's thinking, success, and we're going to hit done. Okay, so now we have our checking account and we have our budget. So if we click over here into checking, we're going to see what's called a check register. So this is going to tell us all of the transactions that are going through our account. So here we have September 3rd, we have a starting balance of $0. So now let's just add a transaction. Let's just say you got paid $1,000. So what we're going to do is we're going to put payee, and we're going to name our payee. And within this software, we want to be careful in how we name our income. Okay, in our expenses, it's not as big a deal, but in our income, we do want to keep it, and we want to keep it consistent. So let's say we're just going to put it as Joe's wages. Okay, this is money that I got paid. And so what we're going to do is then we're going to click over to category, and we're going to mark this as an inflow. Okay, so this is cash into my financial system. So inflow, we can put a memo if you want to. You can put from my job, or you can leave it blank, whatever notes you want to. And I'm going to mark it as $1,000 inflow. All right. And actually, just for ordering purposes, just because I don't like this showing up the way it does, I'm going to put that my starting balance was as of September 1. There we go. And so that way my most current thing is up top. All right, so $1,000. Okay, so Joe's wages, inflow. This is from my job. I'm going to mark this. This was cleared in my account, so it's actually in my account. And so I have $1,000 as my working balance, and it'll show you over here my checking account balance is $1,000 and my budget, I have $1,000 to budget. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my budget, and it shows me up here that I have $1,000 to be budgeted. All right, so what do we do here? So now we've got our budget, we've got it set, and so now what we're going to do is we're going to look at allocating that $1,000 to our different accounts. So let's say that we're looking at it and we're saying, okay, I'm going to give, $100. I'm going to give 10%. I'm going to save 10%. And now I'm looking and saying, okay, I've got $800 left. I've taken care of the important things. Now I've got $800 to allocate towards the rest of my bills. Okay, so let's say you don't have life insurance yet. Maybe your parents are paying your auto, but you've got to pay $40 a month. You've got to pay $200 on your car payment. Let's say your rent is $300. Okay, gas for your car, you're going to need to fill up one time. So let's say it's $40. Let's say you've got your Netflix coming out at $13. And so maybe that's all you have coming out for these next couple of weeks. But now what we're looking at is, okay, so I've still got to buy food. So I'm going to spend maybe $75 in groceries. And then I've got $132 left. So maybe I just want to go out and, be a college student and hang out with my friends and spend $132 out there. Okay? And that's fine. Point is, what we do with the $1,000 is we don't leave it in the account and make decisions based upon what's on the account. This is where we start to become proactive and we start anticipating where we need to spend money over the next 2 weeks. Okay? We have to be proactive and anticipate it, or 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever, until the next time that you get paid. Okay? So we got to start making plans for where is it that I want my money to go. Now, the next thing is let's say that you go out with your friends and you say, hey, we're out, and I want to determine how much money I can spend. What do you do? Well, let me tell you what you don't do. You don't look at your checking account balance. Because let's say you put your budget together, you feel pretty good about it, you know what it is, your buddies call you up and you say, hey, we're gonna go out. Do you want to come with us? Sure, I want to go with you. So you go and you look at your account because you still have $1,000 in there, and you decide, hey, I can go spend basically whatever I want. I got $1,000 in my account. That is what you don't do. What you do is you look at how much you have allocated towards dining out. All right? And what you have allocated is this $132. You haven't allocated $133. You haven't allocated $400 or $200 or whatever. This is the amount that you have. Therefore, this is your limit. Okay? And this is how you begin making decisions with your money and how you begin budgeting. If I could teach you one thing to take with you for the rest of your life, if you never learned anything else in this course, but you could learn to budget, you will come out ahead, and if you learn to budget and you actually did budget, you will come out ahead over most people, even people that are better investors, simply by virtue of the fact that you will learn to keep what you make instead of letting what you make go, okay, and just be spent on frivolous things. So take this, and instead of looking at your account balance to determine how much you spend, look at this number over here. And this is what most personal financial decisions amounts to. It's learning to look in the right places. We have to stop looking in the wrong places and start looking in the right places. This is looking in the wrong place. Hey, I got $1,000 in my checking account. This is looking in the right place. Hey, I've already allocated this money out. I have $132 I can spend here. So that's what I'm going to spend. Okay? This is how a budget works. So now let's just go into our check register. Let's say we do go out. and we hung out with our friends. So let's say we went to, I don't know, wherever we went. Let's just say Applebee's. Okay, and this we're going to put, so it's going to ask us what category is this. So we're going to go into our categories and we're going to say this is dining out. And let's say we only spent $30. Okay, now if it's cleared out of your account, you can hit cleared. So we spent $30. Now we go back into our budget. Nothing changed in how much money we have to be budgeted because we've already budgeted our $1,000. But now what we see is when we went dining out, we have $132, we spent $30, and now we have $102 left. Okay, so the budget is not restricting your spending, it's telling you what you're allowed to spend. It's giving you the freedom to go in and make those decisions. So hey, I've still got $100 I can go spend. I can do this on whatever I want. Okay? And basically, this is how it works. So let's say the next thing is you went to Kroger and you bought some groceries. And the groceries were $45. Say it's cleared. You're going to save, and you go back into your budget. And you can still see my grocery bill. I've got $30 I can spend left on groceries. Great. All right. Now, what's the next thing? Let's talk about opening up a savings account. Okay, because we allocated $100 towards savings. So what we're going to do is we're going to add an account. I'm just going to unlink it. Now, YNAB has a couple of ways of handling this. You can just put it as a savings account, but I don't particularly like that. I don't like how YNAB handles that because they actually make it a budget account. You got to budget what's in your savings, and that's not really what I think savings is for. So I personally use it as an asset, as a tracking account. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to hit tracking account. We're going to say my savings, and let's say our current account balance is 0. We're going to do OK. Success. All right, so we've got budgeted, and we've got our savings account. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my payee, and it says payments or transfers. I'm really just transferring this money to my savings. What is this category? Well, this is my savings. And I'm going to take $100. Mark it is cleared, and I'm going to hit save. All right, so now what I'm seeing is I've got $825 in my checking account. I've got $100 in my savings account. And now I'm going to go to my budget, and you can see that in my savings, I had 100. I spent 100. I've got $0 left in that budgeted category. Okay, so I've done the important thing. I've put my money in savings. And I still have my rest of my expenses for when they come up. But let's say my auto insurance isn't due for a few days. Okay, and let's say I know it's going to come out. I've got it set up on an automatic draft. So it's going to come out in a few days automatically. So I'm going to go into my checking account. I'm going to add transaction. And let's say it's going to come out on Monday. So I'm going to put 9/7, payee, let's say it's Allstate. Category is auto insurance, and it's $40. All right, now I can hit save. And now what this is going to do is this is going to show up as a scheduled transaction. All right, so this means it's scheduled for, say, Monday. But let's say it's scheduled every month on the 7th. So I can change this, and I can put repeat. I can have it repeat monthly. Hit save. And now this will automatically repeat every single month. Okay, so that way when I'm looking at it, I can see that I've got this bill coming up very soon. Now if I go into my budget, I can look at my car insurance, or my auto insurance, and it'll tell me right here that I have one upcoming transaction. Okay, and it's going to tell me that, oh, on the 7th I have $40 coming out for my insurance. Okay. And so now let's say that it comes out. let's say I'm just going to go ahead and pretend we're at the 7th. So I'm going to say, just going to enter it into our register. So go ahead and it comes in. Let's say it went ahead and the transaction is there. It automatically creates another transaction for October 7th. And now when I go into my budget, I see that my $40 has been spent and I've got $0 left available there. Okay. And then we could just go through really, and you could do that with all of your transactions throughout the month. The next thing is the reports. So if we go to reports, I think really the most important one that I like is your income versus expenses. So you can start to see it'll break this out. Okay, remember, what is your cash flow? It's the flow of cash in, it's the flow of cash out. Okay, so this will show you that I had $1,000 come in. This will show me where all of my money went out. I had $100 going to savings. I had 40. Okay, it'll show me all the money that I had out, and it'll tell me what my net income was at the end of the month, or during as of this report. Okay. All right, so I don't want to get any more into this. I just wanted to show you what a budget looked like and how we begin making decisions. So I guess the last thing I'll do, just for emphasis sake, let's say we had $1,000 come in. Let's say it was, or let's say we had $500. Our parents gave us $500, so we'll just say it was a gift. So our payee was a gift. We're going to say it's an inflow of $500. Let's mark these transactions as cleared. And now when we go into our budget, it's going to tell us we have $500 more to budget. And then we just make decisions of where that $500 needs to go. All right, so this is budgeting, plain and simple. The software itself, you can see, has a lot more functionality. It'll tell you a lot more information, and you can spend as much time learning this software as you like. In fact, I would highly recommend that you go take some time and go through their programs, go through their help and support, and learn how the software works, because it's just going to pay you dividends as you learn how to use it and learn how to budget. But this is the idea, and this is where everything begins. It begins by learning how to manage what's money's coming in and how to manage what's going out. And the more that you can do that and learn it and implement it and do it, the better off you're going to be. Okay? So with that said, that's all I have for today. And I will post this, and I hope that you all have a great day, great weekend, and I will talk to you again here next week.